babe. I'm babe. I'm babe. I'm babe.
And it gets your face like warmed up.
Super serious.
Where nothing fun or funny ever happens.
This is a super serious thing.
I don't even like dogs.
Super serious.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Super Serious Dog Podcast. Today, Courtney and I are joined by a very special guest, Samantha. And I just realized I never remembered to ask you how to say your last name. Is it Sneed?
It is, yes.
Hell yeah. Samantha Sneed. I got it on the first try.
Welcome,
Samantha.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited.
So today's episode is going to be really fun and exciting, and it may be a tiny bit awkward for y'all but when I say for y'all, I mean for me and Courtney, because Samantha approached us wanting to take us up on our offer to basically do a consultation on the air, so to speak. Yes. So Courtney and I have never done like a joint consultation before. It's always been like, if we have...
No, we run separate businesses.
But like even in the past when we worked at the same company, it was like one of us sitting there quietly and the other person talked. So it's never like... So, we may have different questions. We may like sort of run into each other a little bit, but I think it'll be really fun, really exciting. So
we're going to feel our way through it. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. If you guys like experimental stuff, this is the podcast for you. All right, cool. Well, let's
wait, just before we get started, for all of our YouTube viewers, Misha, lean over so they can see the whole picture. Oh, your chair's in the way. Move. All right. So that's a beautiful picture of all the dogs today. Yeah. All right. Sorry, people who are just listening. You missed.
We went to the park, and it's a bunch of dogs on the bleachers, and it's really cute. So, yeah, deal with it. Okay, cool. So, Courtney, do you want to kind of like take the lead on this, since we had her fill out your form or anything, or like, do you have any like, I don't know, preparation? I meant to ask her this before we started recording, and I forgot because I had to pee.
When do you not have to pee right now? Like
right now, all the time. It's all the time, unless I get lucky. Sometimes I'll get lucky because baby will be like sitting in a different spot and not kicking my bladder, but for the most part, it's all the fucking
just
time.
all the time. So Samantha, you have 3 dogs.
I do. Yes. I have
tell us about them?
Okay, I have a 6-year-old boxer. I have a 4. He's 6 as well. He just turned 7, but he's a pit bull mutt, little shelter mutt, little shit bull, and
awesome.
Yeah, love him to death. But then I also have a 4.5.
Ruka is a boxer pit cattle dog mix. So
yeah,
I can relate to that mindset.
She's also a bit of a shit bull too.
Yeah, she's a bit of a shit bull too. I blame the cattle dog side of her, but
yeah, I was like, there's some extra feisty in there from that. And then my other dog's just a Malinois. So
just a Malinois.
Just a Malinois.
How'd you get the Mal? Was that like on purpose or on accident?
Kind of both. So I did have a Doberman that I had he was 10 months. I had him for 8, obviously. He passed away at 10 months old. He's his little pictures right there. Kind of see him a little backwards, maybe. Yeah. So it was a kind of a freak incident. I really don't understand or will never know what happened to him when he passed. But that was a whole nother
worst when you don't have an answer.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, the vets were less than helpful. It was a whole shit show. So anyways, he passed away. It was November of 2019. And then a month later, the business that I was working for, the training business, I needed a demo dog. And that's what my Doberman was for. And then a month later, the boss that I worked for had this extra Malinois that he had kind of hung on to for a few years. Trained him up, and he just was holding on to him to find a good home for him. I was looking for a dog. We did a trial run. He passed, and I've kept him ever since. So kind of on accident, kind of on purpose.
Cool. So you're a little bit of a trainer, which I forgot to mention at the start of this. But one of the things that you had told me is that like you don't have tons of experience. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about like, kind of just a quick general synopsis of what experience you do have with that?
Yeah. So I came from growing up, I was not around animals. I did not have that. I guess that's different. I didn't have that background. My parents did have a couple dogs growing up, but ultimately it was I got my very first dog when I was 19. He was the worst dog in the world. He was scared of his own shadow. He peed when you looked at him wrong, the whole night. And I had no idea what I was doing. So I ended up seeing a commercial for Animal Behavior College online to take that course. And I was like, whatever, I'm 19, let's do it. I need to fix my dog. So that's kind of how I got into it. And I lived in North Carolina at the time. And then I did an internship with a lady there. She kind of gave me some information and some hands-on experience, but ultimately it was not much. A few years later, I got the training job at my previous employer, and I worked there for 2.5 years. So
cool. Awesome. What kind of training, like just generally speaking, was your previous? Was it like reward based? Was it attention based? Was it like heavy on corrections? What did that look like?
So they were it was a local franchise, local franchise. They are pretty heavy on e-collar. So e-collar, very
cool.
Punishment based in a sense.
Yeah, like that was like my first big training job too, was like, cool. I went from shelter where everybody's like sunshine and rainbows and never say no to your dog. Well, okay, my shelter wasn't like that, but a lot of them are. And then I went straight into e-collar training, and a lot of the volunteers that used to love me were like, I'm a little concerned, Misha. One of them was a trainer, and she tried to like basically like very subtly, I realize it now looking back, but like she very subtly was trying to get me to work with her instead.
Yeah.
And like I leave that door open so she could maybe one day show me the light. It was, it was very polite. She wasn't rude about it, berating me or anything like that. She could have been a dick. Totally. But she wasn't.
It's funny.
So by the way, just so y'all know, Samantha's dogs' names are Moose, Riley, and Wiggles. I'm going to go ahead and guess the Malinois is not Wiggles.
Yeah, you're right. That's the boxer. Yeah.
Perfect name for a boxer too.
Yeah. I know. So his real name is Aries, but there is nothing fucking remotely intimidating by this dog. So he was adopted. And I think every pet owner really has their fun, ridiculous, over the top nicknames for their dogs. Mm-hmm. So his name is actually Dr. Sir Captain Wiggles. So the reason he got the doctor part is because he's obsessive. And I mentioned this in the survey thing that I took, but he licks fucking everything, and he licks their ears. So we just call him the doctor because he cleans everyone's wounds and licks ears. And so that's him. He's special.
That's amazing. That's hilarious.
So what is your kind of pack dynamic like with those 3 dogs? Like, what are their relationship to each other and to you?
They're all friends. I mean, none of them are obsessed with one another. I've never dealt with the separation anxiety when one leaves a room. They don't overly play with each other. They're homies. They hang out. They're good. I don't have aggression with them with having 3 male dogs. They're all fixed, of course. But the mutt and then the boxer were fixed when they were very young. The Malinois came to me when he was fixed already. So, but they're good. I mean, the Malinois, of course, loves to play. He initiates play with the mutt, the Pipple mutt, a lot. And my Riley, the mutt, he wants nothing to fucking do with him. He is he gets so ferocious and so frustrated when he tries to play. He just doesn't care about playing with dogs. He's not aggressive at all. He's been attacked and he runs away. So, things like that. But other than that, they just
prefers. Okay.
He prefers what?
Okay.
What'd you say?
He just prefers he doesn't necessarily prefer dog company, basically.
People.
Yeah, he prefers people
company
for that. So
yeah. Yep.
That adds up.
Yeah. So as far as your Mal, what so you know how there's a scale of Malinois? There's some Courtney has a Malinois in training with her that's basically the most non-Malinois, right? He doesn't yell at everything. He doesn't necessarily constantly want to bite things.
His tantrums last 5 minutes. That's it. Just 5 minutes. And then he's done. He lays down. He's like, all right, I'm over it. And goes to sleep.
And then you have murder machines that cannot turn off. They're you really have to know what you're doing. You have to be really good at it. And if not, you better have a huge support network behind you. So where on that spectrum does it fall?
So he's more low drive. I could have done better research if I wanted a Malinois. He was the first one that kind of came up, and I was like, I know this dog's history. I know where he came from. I kind of had an in with that. So I felt I had an advantage, I guess, but he's fairly low drive. He's really good house pet. Like he's freaking snoring on the couch right now, just hanging out with my other 2 dogs sleeping. But like he can be left unattended in the house. He doesn't destroy things, but we do some performance stuff. So I do Frenching with him, and him and I are both fairly new to the sport. And for the first 3 years of his life, however, all drive that he expressed was just fucking hammered with an e-collar. So it was, don't do that. Don't do that. He used to be pretty reactive to wheels. So like bicycles, skateboards, shit like that. So all of that drive was just killed, like I said. And then when I got him, I'm like, yeah, let's go bite shit. Let's go chase shit. And he's like, no, you're going to get me in trouble.
I'm not doing this. I'm not supposed to do this.
Yeah. So it's,
it took him a process for you, getting him to open up and change his mind.
He was very insecure at first. It was a lot of like really close interactions with the decoy. There was no rules. Like I didn't put any obedience other than an out, put no obedience on it. It was just go have fun, bite, just have a blast out when I ask you to. And that's it. So we just did that with the decoy and we back tied him for a minute. At first we didn't back tie him because any sort of resistance, he was like, okay, no, I'm not supposed to do that. You know?
Right. So he needed you there encouraging him, being like, you got it, buddy. Yeah. That's correct. Good. What you're doing is great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So there was quite a few months that he was just so like, I don't think I should be doing this. This feels wrong. But now he's coming around and he's doing really well with it. We actually have our first trial, him and I together, for trialing the end of May. So I'm really excited about that.
This is exciting. Remember when you go trial, the most important thing when you hit the field is just to breathe. Mm-hmm. That's all you have to do is just breathe. Everything else, just fuck it. Let it go away.
And regardless of what happens,
I know.
Regardless of what happens, even if like you fuck up terribly and your dog fucks up terribly, have fun. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Doesn't matter.
Because like it's just a game. It's just a game.
It's literally a game.
It is. Yeah, it's totally just a game. Yep. He only views it as a game. And I really resonate with him and like I like to do things and be active. And because I grew up playing sports, I grew up playing softball. So teaching him how to turn it on and off and how to have fun and how to play that offense defense, like that really resonates with me. And I feel like I can communicate with him better now that I have that advantage.
Yeah. How do you, on that note, how do you play with your dogs? Like, what are the specific games that you play with each of your dogs?
So the boxer does not play. I mean, he might wrestle with my sister's dog and just roughhouse for all of 3.5 minutes. Yes. No, he doesn't. He's defective.
Your dog's an oxymoron.
He is. Yeah, he doesn't play. He doesn't. I mean, he might wrestle if I get him round up or something, but like he doesn't play with toys. He doesn't care about food game. He loves food, but he will not work for it. So like my standards for him are so low. It's pretty embarrassing sometimes. But he's just my house pet. Like I said, he's just good at what he does. But
how did he come into your life?
I got him actually when I first got into dog training. This was in 2014-ish. My ex-husband at the time, he was just starting to get the process of getting out of the military, and he really wanted a service dog. So I was like, hey, let's try and see if and I was so new to freaking training and service dogs and all that. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, he really wanted a boxer. So I was like, let's do this. I'll train it up. We'll do all this fun stuff. And that didn't work. He became about 8 months old, and it was like, yeah, this dog does not have what it takes. So he just became our pet. And when we split up, I kept Riley and Wiggles, and he kept the other dog that was the first one that I mentioned.
Oh, okay.
So you said something really specific. So you said you have really low standards for Wiggles to the point where it's embarrassing. Why do you use that word embarrassing? Why is that embarrassing to you?
I feel like trainers have this stigma that their dog, every single dog that they touch is just the most obedient, and they just listen on a dime every time. And it's like, No, our dogs aren't perfect.
I am
our
working
dogs,
one day at a time to break that stigma.
Yes.
My dogs fuck up all the time. They are shitheads.
Seriously. Like,
I love them, but they're dogs.
No, like he listens. Exactly. I love him. He listens. He's really good around kids. He's phenomenal around kids. He's really good around dogs. He loves people. He goes on walks. He can be off leash anywhere I take him. He listens, but he's very, very needy. He loves to be in your face, in your ass all the time. And he obsessively licks. I think it's like this OCD thing with him. Like it's literally in his brain. And when he's in that, like obsessive, like I need to be on top of you, lick you, he doesn't listen. Like go away, go to place, go lay down, nothing. Like you have to just go make him do it. So it's manageable. And that's like that embarrassing part where it's like, fucking stop. Like just stop licking.
The fact that you have to manage it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, for those of you who are watching and those of you who are listening as well, the reason I have the background up right now, this photo, is because there's a bunch of fucking chairs and stools on my couch right now because I just vacuumed it so super thoroughly because I'm trying to sell it and I don't want my dogs to hop up here. So there's nothing wrong with managing certain aspects of your life and certain aspects of your dog as well.
Because Misha cannot magically explain to her dogs that today, right now, you're not allowed on the couch that you're normally allowed on while she does a podcast. Like that's just... You're not. No,
which is funny because like the other couch, they're only allowed up on permission basis. So it's not like they're not capable of that boundary. There's plenty of times where I've kicked them off the couch and they're just never allowed up there. And then eventually I change my mind. I'm like, okay, you can come up sometimes, right? This couch, I just kind of said, fuck it, Rocky, your cute background for the podcast. You could be there, right? So how am I going to tell him while I'm trying to record and like doing other stuff in the room? And I don't feel like keeping this door closed because that's more work to me than just putting a bunch of chairs in there. So, management is always okay, right?
Yeah.
It's just when it's like everything has to be heavily managed, then it's problematic, right? And it depends on like your goals and stuff. So,
yeah.
So speaking of goals, what are some goals that you have for your dogs? And you don't have to have goals for all of them, by the way. I don't have goals for Rocky. I just want him to be happy.
No, Wiggles, it's just be a happy dog. He's got gastrointestinal issues, so pancreatitis. So yeah, he I don't know. I just live.
Just live your life, bro.
Yeah.
Just live your life.
Be a good dog. Hang out.
Make me laugh sometimes.
That's literally what it is. Just make me laugh.
I like that you put that on the forum too. You're like, one of the things that you love about your dog is comedic relief.
Yeah, they do. They're fucking hilarious. They make me laugh all the time. So Wiggles, just live as happy and healthy as you can until he's no longer here because he's almost 7. So boxers obviously don't have a long time span. Riley is a therapy dog in training. So I do some cool public access stuff with him. We've gone to schools, we've gone to hospitals, stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun and he really enjoys it. I was considering doing like service dog type stuff with him just for the sake of my experience of training with it. But, he had some recent health issues come up where it would be problematic for him to do that type of stuff. Yeah. So it's just going to be fun hang out with mom, go with me wherever I need you to go kind of stuff. And then Moose is, Moose is more for sports. Cause he doesn't have, being a low drive mal and being him having some issues, like he's dog selective. He can't be trusted with strange dogs, especially dogs of like more dominant, pushy, I'm the boss kind of type situations. He absolutely would start a fight with them out of insecurity.
Or just rude dogs probably.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly. Yep. Rude dogs.
Yeah.
And
it's just like out of best manners.
Yep. I can't trust him with certain things like that. And it just stems from insecurity with him. Mm-hmm. He's not a dominant alpha type dog, but, and with that being said too, he's that total dog where it's like the man in the blue hat freaks him out, like random shit like that. So he's constantly being managed and he's not an easy dog. He's not for every household. Even though he is a good pet, he's the dog that I know isn't going to take me to Worlds with French ring or any sort of sport that I do with him. So I'm like, I'm going to make all my mistakes with you. I'm going to learn better. And then the next Malinois I get is I'm better prepared. So
I applaud you for wanting a Malinois because I have zero desire to have a Malinois anytime soon. Like, like the idea of like PSA and French training is cool, but like I'm not in any hurry to get a Mal.
Yeah. No, and back in the day when I needed a demo dog, many people tried to push Mals on me, and I kept being like, nope, I don't want one. I don't
get a freaking
don't want that.
Instead.
Yeah. I got a border collie. I was the first one. To get it like approved with a border collie, and now fucking they all have border collies as demo dogs. But
and then I showed up with a Chihuahua as a demo dog.
Yeah,
and people were like,
blew everyone's mind.
There you go.
But it was great.
And he's a little shithead from what I've gathered, right? Yeah.
But he's my shithead.
There, I love it. Yeah, that's Moose. He's my shithead.
That's cool. What made you want to do sport?
I actually don't know the answer to that. I've been asked that a few times.
Totally fair.
Yeah, I just love the idea. I guess I do know the answer. Just coming from doing sports and playing sports.
That's what I was going to guess. I was going to say it might have to do with the fact you did sports growing up.
Yeah.
Because like I did not do sports growing up and have no desire to do sports with my dogs.
Fair.
I tried
totally
to for my dog's benefit, but the drive is not there.
For you. Yeah,
for
exactly.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love, and I just love playing sports. I still actively play softball, and now it's just slow pitch. It's just beer league shit.
Yeah.
Just have fun with it. But, I love playing with dogs. I just throw a stick, throw a ball, any dog I can get my hands on and play with. I'm all about. That's what I'm known for, being in my family and with my friends, is the crazy dog person. So if I can play with them, I can get them to pretty much do anything. Right.
Yeah, totally. That's really, really true. So what made you want to talk to us specifically? Because you sound like you know a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't feel like I know a lot of stuff, but I guess you the last podcast you guys put out was saying that you guys wanted to consult with someone, and I wasn't sure if you meant a professional trainer or like a brand new person that just got a puppy and doesn't know shit about puppies. I don't know.
All the above, baby. All the above.
So I'll be honest, that night that I was listening to that, I had been drinking with some friends, and I was like, yes, I'm going to write them because I'm so excited. And it was all out of liquid courage. And then you were like, let's talk. And I'm like, shit, what are we talking about?
Well, now you're on the spot. So what questions do you have for us?
Also, I just want to throw out there that, I've been training dogs a long time, and I still feel like I don't know anything. Even though, like, I know stuff, because you ask me a question, I know an answer, probably. Put a dog in front of me, I can do stuff with it, probably. But man, I walk around every day thinking, like, I don't know shit. I don't know shit about dogs.
Yep.
While 5 dogs walk on loose leashes.
Is there ever?
I'm like, I don't know.
I just did it. It's a thing.
I don't know. Did it. I don't know. It's just working.
Do you feel like that then too, Misha? Or do you feel like you got a pretty good
all
grasp
the damn
on
time? It's the Dunning-Kruger thing where you're like, I don't know shit. Now I kind of know stuff. And then you're like, now I don't know shit. I think I'm a failure. I think everybody thinks I'm an imposter. And then I'm like, okay, I kind of know stuff again. And I know everything. And then it's back down to, I don't know shit again. Oh God, help. So it's definitely
I resonate. Yeah, I resonate with that because being from the franchise I worked at, I was the senior trainer. I was the trainer that they had for the longest time at the period. So I was always the kind of the go-to for questions and how do we do this? How do we do that? So I really felt like I knew what I was doing there. And then when I left and now training, going back to kind of square one, I'm like, what? Treat training? Well, I guess. So the franchise I worked for we were exclusively told we're not allowed to use treats and we are not allowed to use toys to play. Yeah.
What?
So, dang.
Yeah.
Weird.
We should not, yes. Very weird. Very not okay in my head as well. So when they told me that, I had a lot of disdain towards that because I don't believe in that, obviously. So what did it for me leaving there was I was asked to go to a seminar to learn from another trainer. It was the Larry Crone seminar and that they just had in St. Louis in February. And I was told I wasn't allowed to learn from other trainers outside of this one training method and that I wasn't going to learn anything from them. So I was like, okay,
gross.
I'm done. Yeah.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Okay. Why'd you stay for as long as you did?
Yeah.
Just scared. It was a lot of intimidation factor for them. They're like, you're not gonna find a better job than this. You're not gonna be given any better opportunity than what we give you. So it was a lot of intimidation and bullied into staying there for a little bit. And then I eventually was like, yeah, I can't. I was hated going to work. The dogs recognized it. Yeah, it was bad. So.
Yeah, Courtney and I have similar experiences, and we have friends in similar situations where like we were told specific things to us. Like I was told I don't handle stress well, and I was like, bitch, I don't handle this much stress well, because nobody fucking can handle this much stress well, right? Of course, I didn't say that.
I mean, for me, a lot of the reason I stayed was because I'd never made that much money in my life.
That was another thing too. That was
like,
the
I grew
most
up really
money I was making in my life.
So like raking in that much money, I was like, oh, I must be doing awesome at life. You know?
Yeah.
Never mind the fact that like I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating right, I'm not taking care of myself at all.
You're having 30 Red Bulls a day.
I'm having 30 Red Bulls a day, and I'm not believing in what I'm teaching at all. But it's okay because it's helping people, right? I'm helping people, right?
Right.
I'm totally helping people and their dogs. And like, you know, when we trained in that style, the dogs did improve sometimes because micromanagement will eliminate a lot of problem behaviors. You know?
Yeah.
And correcting the dog for doing anything will make them do nothing, and then they can't do any bad behaviors.
Because then you have a dog that just lays there and it's the best dog ever because it's afraid to make any fucking decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that was actually what I ran into with Moose. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
That's what I ran into with Moose when I first got him, was he didn't know how to make a decision without pressure, without being told or being shown. Like he didn't know how to just be a dog. And so, very much so. And if he did make a decision, it ended up being a pretty bad one. Getting in the trash, you know, fucking chewing a pillow, whatever, shit like that. But through lots of just like, no, dude, we're not going to do that. And it's not, I took a lot of tools out for a minute, and he's doing way better. So, yeah.
So what, how long have you been on your own now?
Technically, so I'm not training on my own.
Right. Well, I meant like I'm not working for the franchise anymore or whatever. How long?
A month.
Out of that? Okay, so it's only been a month.
You're fresh out.
Yeah.
You're super fresh out.
You got fun. You have fun phases ahead of you.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, like, how are you? Like, are you feeling optimistic right now? Do you know, like, okay, when I continue training with my dogs, this is how I want to do it? Or are you kind of like, I don't know, there's so many possible methods I could do. Fuck, like, which one do I start with? Like, I know I want to use food, but like, how? Right? Like, where's your head at right now?
Yeah. So thankfully, I work for another company here. It's a small business. It's just this lady. I actually met her in my training club, the sport club that I train with Moose. I met her there. She trains, actually, it's like 40 miles away from where I am. And so I commute to learning with her, cool. Going to lessons with her and things like that. So yeah, I have a really nice mentor, cool. That's really helping me and showing me the ropes of like not the franchise style of training. And it's just me now getting a grasp on like, oh, okay, I actually do know some things that I am insecure about that I don't think I know, but so yeah, and it's only been a month.
Yeah. That's helpful though.
Like a month and a few days, but yeah.
It's helpful to have like a person and a like, because basically it's like you could shape, you can lure, you can do treats, you can do possession games, you could not do possession games, there's like so many different things that you could possibly do. You could box feed, you could right, all these very, very, very different things. And so it's kind of nice that like, you're like, okay, cool. I'm going to like sort of follow this person's guidance. Right. And kind of go through that, because then you have direction, you have purpose, like there's a clear sort of like outline ahead of you of like what to expect basically. And then you also have somebody to go ask specific questions about their specific system. And so I think I honestly kind of envy you in that, because, my husband kept asking me before I started my own business, like, what kind of training do you want to do? Are you going to do e-collar stuff? Are you not going to do that at all? And I'm like, I'm gonna use treats and toys, and I don't know. I know stuff. I'm just gonna figure it out.
Just gonna do things.
He was like, well, you should probably like have an idea, you know, to make your life easier if you just like have a plan. And I was like, my plan is to wing it.
Great plan. Solid plan.
So, you know, like,
and so learning from Larry, and then Jay Jack was also there, and Joel Silverman. So he's, a movie animal trainer. It was just learning the different styles, because those are 3 insanely different training styles. The way Jay trains really resonated with me, play-based, relationship-based. He's like, if you can play with your dog, you don't need obedience, in a certain aspect.
Yeah. Totally.
And I absolutely loved learning from them. And so I want to learn everything about everything. I don't want to isolate my brain or my training techniques with just one method. I feel like that does a disservice to the dogs and to the specific owners sometimes too.
Yeah.
So I just want to do everything, even if it's not something I'm like, hey, I don't see myself doing that later on, but now I know it. And now I have that in my back pocket. I just want to do everything. So now that I have this freedom to do this, I'm like, I'm getting my toes wet in everything. And I'm so excited.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's cool.
It's really good that you have that like excitement, that drive.
Yeah.
To like,
I'm glad it wasn't killed and been like, no, screw dog training. It's ruined for me now. And no, I just knew it was the situation. Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's what happened. Oh. I with the Red Bulls and the not sleeping and all of that, I burnt out. I burnt out bad. I had a full on mental breakdown, like bad. Misha was there or not there for you were there. You were there.
I was there.
She was around.
Yeah. And then there's a whole like blurry chunk of time for me where I couldn't really tell you what I was doing. And then at some point I started training again. But I went through a couple cycles of quick burnout again because I went right back into a very similar situation of like, hey, you can handle 5 board and trains. You got this. You know how to train dogs.
You did this before.
Yeah, with like some weird overinflated confidence. And it was overinflated. And so then it that bubble popped as well. And I was just kind of fell down again a little bit. And then I brushed off my knees and I got back up and then I tripped a little bit more. And then I just sat down for a little while and was like, okay, what am I doing? And I didn't train dogs for like a small period of time. But people kept reaching out to me. Word of mouth clients kept coming in. So I was like, I must have helped somebody. I must have had an effect on people. So maybe I should keep doing this. And I do really love my dogs, and I have fun doing stuff with them. And I've learned a lot from them. And so I started my business. And in the beginning, I mean, even still, I keep it capped. I only take on a certain amount of clients. I only work so hard because it's not about the money anymore for me. It's about, is Courtney okay? Is Courtney okay? And is she doing an effective job at her life?
Yeah.
Is she making time for her husband? Is she enjoying her own dogs? Is she feeling connected to her clients and the world and her family and her friends? And so, now my focus is on Courtney.
That's right.
Good. Yay, go you.
So we can hang out and do shit like this.
Dude, it's been a fucking journey. Like, it was not easy nor fun. And I wouldn't wish it upon anyone to go as far into burnout as I went. But here I am.
Yep.
Still kicking.
So on that note, I think that's a perfect spot to wrap it up for this episode. If you guys were going to keep talking about stuff and keep kind of digging into probably more personal shit. We'll see where it goes. So if you're really enjoying this consult type process and you want to be a part of it, definitely let us know. You can email us at superseriousdogpodcast@gmail.com. If you're a Patreon member, or if you're not, you should be, because we put a lot of cool stuff on there. You can check out patreon.com/Super Serious Dog Podcast. And then Samantha, do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah. So if you're in the local area of Colorado Springs or the Denver area, I know really great trainers up in Denver, but you can follow me at pikespeakcaninecamp.com. We do a gambit of everything. If you just want to learn how to play with your dog, we will teach you how to play. If you just want to do treat training, service dog, performance stuff.
Oh no, it froze. Damn it. What a terrible time.
What a shitty time for it to freeze.
Of course.
Oh
Yep,
no.
there it
Yeah,
goes.
what the,
There we
right
go.
at the end of the show. Anyway, continue to plug yourself. I have no idea when that cut off.
Yeah, I don't either. So do it again. pikespeakcaninecamp.com.
Go check it out. Yeah. Thank you so much for being on the show and like offering to kind of like, put it all out there and make yourself vulnerable. Cause I got a really nice message the other day from somebody from when I was on the Canine Paradigm and like kind of came out of nowhere. And they were like, dude, I like had a really similar experience to you. Thank you so much. So you never know like who this is going to help, right? Sharing your experience. So we really appreciate you coming on and doing that.
That's actually where I met, or I not met, but heard your name at first was on the Canine Paradigm, Misha. And that's the way you talked and laughed and cussed and had fun. I was like, fuck yes. Like
She's a cool lady.
Yes, I resonate here. She's that kind of person. So that's where you plugged the Super Serious. And that's how I got a hold of you guys.
That's
so
awesome.
You're so fucking cool, Misha. So glad I'm your friend.
Stick with me, kid. We'll go far. All right. That's it for this episode. Thank you guys for listening. No, not you guys. Thank y'all for listening. And bye.